Hello everyone, good day. I am Jeremy T. Enriquez and I am a third year BEED-GENERALIST student. The title of the novel written by Anton Chekhov that I have chosen is The Three Sisters. The short biography of the author. Anton Pavlovich Chekhov was born on January 29, 1860 in Taganrog, Russia. His father Pavel was a grocer with frequent money troubles. His mother, Virginia, shared her love of storytelling with Chekhov and his 5 siblings. When the Pavel's business failed in 1875, Chekhov supported the family with his freelance writing, producing hundreds of short comic pieces under a pen name for local magazines. During the mid-1880s, Chekhov practiced as a physician and began to publish serious works of fiction under his own name. His pieces appeared in the newspaper, News Times, and then as part of collections such as Motley Stories 1886. From the late 1890s onward, Chekhov collaborated with Konstantin Stanislavski and the Moscow Art Theater on productions of his plays, including his masterpieces, The Three Sisters. In 1901, Chekhov married Olga Nipper, an actress from the Moscow Art Theater. However, by this point, his health was in decline due to the tuberculosis that had affected him since his youth. So while staying at a health resort in Baden-Weiler, Germany, he died in the early hours of July 15, 1904 at the age of 44. Year of publication. The True Sisters by Anton Chekhov was originally published on January 31, 1901, or in short, it was published on the year 1901. So, publisher of the novel. The original publisher of the novel entitled The Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov was Adolf Marx. The country it was published. Three Sisters is a play by the Russian author and playwright Anton Chekhov. It was written in 1900s and first performed in 1901 at the Moscow Art Theater. It was published at the country of Moscow. Language used in the novel. So the original language of the novel entitled The Three Sisters was Russian, but it was translated in the language of English. Number of pages of the novel. The Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov has 416 pages all in all. Is it a hardbound or paperback? So the novel entitled Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov was a paperbound. How many chapters does the novel have? So the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov has 30 chapters. Where is the setting of the story? So the Three Sisters is set in a small town in Russia in 1850, which is a provincial Russian garrison town. So who are the characters of the story? So the characters of the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov were Irina, Masha, Fyodor Kolegin, Olga, Andrei, Natasha, Anfisa, Vershinin, Tusenbach, and Chibitikin. Describe each character. So, Irina is the youngest of the 3 Prosozok sisters. She is a kind and benevolent person and believes that if one wants to satisfy the requirements of a good life, one should work day and night. Masha, the middle sister, she is smart and introspective but also capricious and sometimes ruthless with the people around her. She feels that her life is tedious and dull because of the simple-minded husband and a provincial school teacher. Fyodor Kolodjin is a school teacher and Masha's husband. He is good-natured and even-keeled, often telling people how happy he is. He has cheery attitude that can sometimes cause him to overlook and repress what he is truly feeling. Olga, she is the eldest sister in the family. Employed as a school teacher, she is the most responsible Prozorov sister, taking care of her sisters and overseeing the household. She is sober-minded and pragmatic. Andrei, he is the beloved brother of Olga, Masha, and Irina. He is scholarly and moody. Andrei loves nothing more than to read his books. Natasha, he is Andrei's wife. She is intimidated by the sophisticated three sisters who belittle her clothing choices and her provincial attitudes. When they got married, she becomes dictatorial and coarse head of household, taking up a lot of space and treating the servants disrespectfully, and she had an affair. Anfisa is the girl's nurse. She is 80 years old and actually very helpful around the house, but Olga is protective of her. While Vershinin, he is an officer of the army and an old friend of the three sisters' father. He is a highly philosophical person and likes to discuss life, a quality that draws Masha to him. The Tosenbach is an affordable baron who comes from privilege, just like the Prosorov sisters. Like Irina, he believes in the value of work and leaves the army to become a civilian and proposed to Irina. He is very kind-hearted and good-natured. Chibutikin, he is an older doctor who lives with the three sisters. He is eccentric and charming, often making jokes and trying to please the three sisters. The summary of the story. So I'll be reading the summary of the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov. Three Sisters mainly follows the story of wait for it three sisters, Olga, Masha, and Irina Prozorov. They live with their brother Andrei in a big house on the edge of a small Russian town. The townspeople are kinda backward and boring compared to their educated and culture-loving family. So this set of sieves is not too fond of the town to begin with. Believe it or not, the only halfway interesting people around are the guys in the military. Basically, the Prozorov kids are worldly, well-educated army brats, and being the army and Tsarist Russia pretty much meant you were in the aristocracy, and once you got through the fighting stuff, probably developed a taste for the finer things in life. So ever since the family moved from Moscow 11 years prior with their father now dead, the sisters have obsessed over the dream of moving back to the big city. But guess what? It's not happening. Olga, the eldest, is a spinster school teacher and eventually becomes a headmistress living with her elderly maid. Masha, the middle sister, is married to another school teacher, Collegian, whom she despises for his small-mindedness. She has an affair with the officer, Vershinin, because he's given to just the sort of philosophizing that really starts her engines. And guess what happens? The affair ends in heartbreak. Poor Irina, the youngest, has fanciful ideas about the value of work, but soon realizes that in reality, work sucks the life out of her. She's also in love with the idea of love, but doesn't get to experience it. Finally, she comes around to saying yes to Baron Tozenbach, a friendly but ugly man who's been after her for years. One day, they are leaving to get married. He gets shot in a duel. Bummer. Andre, the brother, gives up his intellectual dream to pursue a town girl, Natasha. They marry, have kids, and little by little she takes over the estate. At the end of the play, the upper-class Prozenroves are pretty much evicted from their own house, while Natasha, a symbol of the working class, is on the rise. Allegory much for anyone not already reaching for the history book. This was just a few years before the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, and you better believe smart Ruskies like Chekhov could already sense some storms on the horizon. So what is the theme of the story? So the themes of the three sisters are provincial life, love, class, purpose, disappointment, philosophy, marriage, change, suffering, and the meaning of life. So what are the moral values in the novel? So the value that I've learned from the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov is that we must stop complaining with what we have, but instead be grateful on the smaller things we have. We must always work hard to get the life that we wanted to live. So what are the critics' comment about the novel? Is it a positive or negative review of the book? So upon reading the comments of the reader of this story, I realized that a lot of people are reading this, but some of the people don't like the flow of the story because of its meaning. Some of the people don't like the genre of the novel because it is comedy, as well as tragedy in the lives of the characters. A lot of people give positive comments because, according to them, Three Sisters give them a lot of lessons that we could be able to apply in our life or in the future scenarios. So this is the book cover of the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov. So here are some of the illustration of the Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov. I will give Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov 3 stars because I can't deny the fact that I've learned a lot of lessons from this novel. It is not the highest stars because The story makes me sad. Better irony and the gap between the characters' aspirations and the way they actually live. It is very sad that the conflict in the story is very serious and it revolves around the sisters and their unhappy lives. When it comes to their existence, they tend to complain about their jobs and the problems within their home, yet they seemingly do not want to take an active role in changing their circumstances. The story is beautiful, but it is just very emotional.